Good morning. Happy Sunday. Um, Happy to be here. I've had this kind of on my mind for a while. I've been getting a lot of questions about it, so I wanted to talk about this. Big question. Should you start your own business? I've seen in a lot of the Facebook groups that I'm in. Hey, Adam. I see so many comments from people who are like, this is something that I would love to do, but I have no idea where to start. Like, would anybody even work with me? Would anybody like pay money to work with me? It's too hard. I don't know like what I'm even good at. I don't know what software to use. Like tons and tons of like fears and excuses to not start, but it's something that they obviously want to try to do. So good morning. Um, so I wanted to talk about this. Should you start your own business? My answer, and I'm obviously biased, is yes. If you've thought about it, then yes, you need to try. But a little bit longer of an answer is kind of like it depends. It depends on like kind of what you want in your life. Um, Starting a business is not like a get rich quick scheme or anything like that, and it's definitely not easy. But it depends, like if you are happy with your job and it provides everything that you need and matches up with your values, and you generally enjoy your days on a regular basis, and you've never really thought about entrepreneurship, never really thought about starting your business, then you're probably fine. You probably don't need to start one. But I know that there are a lot of people, hi Deb, a lot of people out there who it's something that they like can't sleep because they're just always thinking about like, should I start my own business? I have this great idea. I'd love to do this. I'm so scared. And they're looking for something else that their life right now is just not giving them. Um, and like they want to chase that. They want to figure out how to get that. Hey, Danielle. So whether it's, like more time freedom, location freedom, more flexibility, being able to spend time with your family, whenever you want, being home a little bit more, the list goes on and on for reasons why people are searching for more, like more down the non-traditional route, and not kind of following, what society says to do. Go to school, get a job, work there for 30 years, retire. um, so like if you just find yourself, hi Lisa, if you find yourself just always wishing for something more and you enjoy being creative and you're a hard worker and you want to do more with your life. I wish I could come up with better words to express it than that, then hi Kate. This is probably for you. It's at least worth a try. So if you fall more into that category where you are searching for something more and, maybe you have an idea, maybe you don't yet, I would say, yeah, I would say, consider starting your own business. Hi, Brianna. Because like the thing is your business and success can look like whatever you want it to look like. If you want it to be like a little side gig, then go for it. If you want it to be your full-time thing, go for it. Hey Mike, hi Alyssa. Because one of the things that one of my friends told me before is that he would never start a business because he's been told that 97% of businesses fail. So he just doesn't even want to deal with it. And that made me really sad because, like I said, success can look however you want it to. Failure is just not trying, you know. You could have a goal of like working with one new client every 6 months, and that's success. Like that's all you need. That's all you want to like fill that need inside of you that has been looking for something more. It could be that, it could be selling your book on Amazon and making one sale per month. That's fine. Like that's fine. If that's what your business looks like for you, then great. If your business looks like generating $1 million in sale per year, great. Love it. It's going to require a little bit more time and energy and effort, but go for it. like failure is just not trying, or holding yourself back and just thinking, well, what if I had tried this? And success is going to be up to you, whatever your goals are and whatever you want to do. So like I said, if you've thought about it, give it a try. It doesn't have to be super complicated starting up. And I'll talk about that in a second, because I think that's one thing that holds a lot of people back. And a lot of the people that I've worked with and that I see, online and everything, they have a list of questions on how to start. Hi, David. Hi, Terry. And they don't know, and they don't have the answers to the questions. So instead of like trying to find the answers or trying to figure out how to start, they just stay in this inaction phase. But anyway, so if you thought about it, try it. And then I think the biggest thing here that I would say, hey, Lauren, is if you're wanting to start a business, it needs to start with you. It needs to be something that you are really passionate about. It needs to kind of keep you up at night. Hey, Patrick. And it needs to be something that you can't shut up about. Because if you try to start a business on something that you feel like you should do, or that other people are telling you that you should do, and you don't feel very passionate about it, you're not going to get very far. But if you pick something that you absolutely love, and it's all you want to do, then that's what you need to follow. And I feel like when I first started out in business, that was not something that I always followed. I kind of went down a path of feeling obligated to do certain things versus following my initial thought process of what I need to do to, fulfill that need inside of something more. So follow your passion. What is going to keep you up at night, and what is going to make you look forward to working every day? And another thing to ask yourself is just, what do people ask for your help on? That's also a good place to start. You want to kind of be careful there, like I just said, don't do it out of obligation. But if people are always coming to you for help for something, and it's something that you enjoy helping people with, then I would follow that. And then, okay, so here's the thing. And I've been reading The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur by Mike Michalowicz, which I love. He wrote that book. He's written Profit First and a few other books. I'm probably going to read all of them. They're really good. I would highly recommend them. But if you're worried about starting a business because you don't have enough money to start the business, figure out what you can do for free. How can you set your business up in the cheapest way possible, or for absolutely free? What could you do right now where you don't have to invest any money into your business? And that's something that I work with people on is, we figure out what you're passionate about. We figure out what you want to offer people in terms of services or products. We put all your software and your back-end stuff into place. And then we talk about investing in the business, but what can you do for free? What can you do without any capital? How can you start your business not even worrying about that? And there's a lot that goes into that. But I just want to kind of dispel the myth that you need a bunch of money to start your business, because that is going to hold you back, along with all the other questions that you have. All you have to do is start. And there are a lot of different ways that you can start, but you just have to do something. You have to put it out there. You have to get going, and then we can worry about the money and all the details as you go, because you're going to make a ton of mistakes. But the only way to really figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it is by trying something, and either you liked it or you didn't like it. Either it worked or it didn't work. And then we keep going, and you just change from there. And you learn a lot about yourself as you go too. So yeah, kind of just to recap, the question that I see a lot is I'd love to start my own business. I love what, this person or that person is doing. I wish I could do that. I could never, I don't even know where to start. if you want to start a business, then start your business. Figure out how to do it for as little money or for free. Figure out what you want to do, how you want to do it, who you want to work with, like what you want to provide, what your offer is. Figure all of that stuff out, and then figure out how to actually do it as you go. Because if you wait to try to get all the things in place, you're never going to start, because things are never going to be exactly right. You're never going to feel confident in your plan. So the only way to get that confidence is to try something. And like I said, either it works or it doesn't. And when it does work, and it does create the result that you want, you're going to start to build that confidence. And it's really, really cool. It's really cool, especially when people start paying you for what you're doing. And you learn how to support yourself and generate income. Yes, David, don't go for perfection. When you figure out how to support yourself and generate income and provide a service that is true to you, and all of that comes together, and you actually receive the money and the income for that. I remember the first time that happened for me, and I might start crying about it, but it's so cool that you figured out how to do this for yourself, and you didn't have to depend on somebody else to tell you, what you're worth, how you're going to do what you're going to do, and put limits on the way that you live your life. So I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but I hope that this all makes sense. And to kind of summarize, should you start a business? Biased me says yes, but unbiased is it kind of just depends on what you want. If you are really happy with what you're doing, and your work and your personal life are very fulfilling for you, and you don't really have any complaints, and you haven't thought about starting a business before, maybe you don't need to. Maybe things are fine the way they are, and that's great. But if you are living your life right now, and maybe it's fine, but you just find yourself always wanting something more, or wishing things were a different way, and feeling like you could provide something to the world and provide something to the community that it needs, then maybe we should consider starting a business. Because Irena, it doesn't have to be something super crazy, and it doesn't have to be super complicated. Like I said, success is whatever you want it to be, whether it is working with one client a month or, 20 clients a month. Just an example there, selling one product, selling 20 products. Whatever your goals are totally fine, and you can always change them as you go. You want to make sure that you're starting things for the right reasons. You're starting your business because it's something that you're super passionate about, and it's a problem that you can solve. It's a problem that you enjoy helping people with. And just figure out how you can start without making it really complicated. Figure out how you can start your business without spending, thousands of dollars. What's the cheapest way to do it? What do you need to figure out first? And just go with baby steps. Because I think people get really wrapped up in all the details that could possibly come up, and they feel like they need answers to every single what if question that could come up in the process. But just pick a baby step, just one thing, and figure one thing out every single day as you go. And then, like I said, you're going to make mistakes, and that's fine. Nobody who has ever started a business has done it completely perfectly. It's the only way that you're really going to learn. Learn, what strategies and what systems work. But it's also the only way that you're really going to learn what your values are, and what you're really passionate about, what you really want your business to look like, is by making mistakes and taking imperfect action. That's always going to outweigh perfect inaction. And, as far as all the details though, specifically with the people that I work with regarding like starting a telehealth practice, they want to know all the things, especially things that are, deal with like finances and legal stuff. They always want to have all that stuff in place, the same way I did when I first started, before they even do anything. And I think that's fine to do a lot of that research and kind of get a general idea, but you're going to be able to put policies and procedures and protocols in place and ask for more advice on, like financial and legal counsel once you figure out what you're actually doing, and once you figure out what your actual business is. So like the details will come. Just pick something. If you want to start your business, go for it. Start today. Figure out what direction you want to go. What is it going to take? How can you do it for free? And just keep pushing and go from there. So, I mean, if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. I'm, not perfect at what I do, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm still learning every day too. And I follow a ton of people on Facebook and what they're doing. So if you have a question that I don't have the answer to, I can point you in the direction of somebody who does. So I hope that this was helpful for some people out there, who might be kind of holding themselves back. You never know what you'll be able to do. You could have a really successful business and you won't even know unless you try. So if you watch this and you want to start your business, please tell me about it. Because I love talking to other entrepreneurs about this stuff. And yeah, good luck with everything. Let me know if I can help. And I look forward to seeing all the cool things that you guys are doing. So I hope you have a good rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon.